Robert Kiyosaki had two fathers. One father was his real father, whom he calls Poor Dad. And the other father, whom he calls Rich Dad, was his friend's father. Both were successful in their careers. Poor Dad was very educated and intelligent and had done PhD. But he was struggling financially. On the other hand, Rich Dad had not even completed high school. But he was one of the richest men in America. Both fathers had completely different opinions regarding money. Poor Dad used to say that love of money is the root of all problems. But Rich Dad used to say that lack of money is the root of all problems. Poor Dad left many unpaid bills for his family after his death. Whereas Rich Dad left property worth crores. His poor dad always used to say that study well, get a degree so that you can get a secure job. Whereas Rich Dad used to say study, but also think about how you can hire people for your work. The words of both the fathers were different. That's why in the beginning Kiyosaki was worried about whom to listen to and whom not. But later he decided that to become rich he would listen to his Rich Dad. Rich Dad taught Kiyosaki for 30 years. Due to which his financial knowledge increased a lot. And this is the secret of their becoming successful and rich. Kiyosaki has explained all those lessons very well in the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And also take a look at the mistakes that most people make, which then doesn't let them get rich. Why should one read Rich Dad, Poor Dad book? What does this teach? This book is about financial literacy. If you want to be rich, then it is very important to know financial literacy along with normal studies. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is one of those books. Just earning a lot of money is not enough to become rich. Money management, making more money from money, all these things lead to wealth. That's why whoever wants to become Amir must read this book. It breaks many misconceptions that people have about money. 1. Rich people do not work for money, rich do not work for money. Money work for them, poor and middle class people work for money. Rich people make money work for them. In the first lesson, Rich Daddy tells that fear and greed control the lives of most people. People work so that they do not lack money. And as soon as the money comes, the greed to buy other new things also arises. Then this greed forces them to earn more money. And the fear that they won't be able to pay their bills, lest he become poor. That's why they work hard and earn money. Rich Dad, this is called rat race. How people are trapped in this race because of fear and greed. It is not that people like this race, but the things ingrained in people's minds since childhood keep them a part of this race. This was taught since childhood: study well, get a good degree, then do a good job. If you try something different, you will only fail. Will not let anyone else succeed. And this is what keeps people connected to this race. It is true that you will never become poor by being a part of this rat race. You will be able to pay your bills, will be able to buy luxury, but you will never be able to become rich. You will not be able to live a quality life. You will have to follow that boring routine every day till retirement. So the question comes, what to do? First, gather courage and get out of this rat race. Do something in which you do not work for money. Let the money work for you. And this is possible only when you take financial knowledge. 2. Financial literacy. It's not how much money you make that matters. What matters is how much money you keep. It is very important to learn financial literacy. Those who lack this, no matter how much money they earn, they always remain poor. Many people earn crores in lottery, but then they lose it too. Financial literacy means understanding how money works. Many talented people are still stuck in the rat race because of this lack of knowledge. They don't even know how much money they are losing in taxes. If we understand this in simple language, then there is difference between asset and liability. It sounds simple to win, but in reality people are unaware of this difference. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. And liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. People make this mistake by considering their liabilities as assets, like car, house, luxury things. But in reality these are liabilities. House is not your property unless it earns you money. If you have given the house on rent and you are getting income from it, only then will it be called your asset. That's why Rich Daddy says increase your assets. And keep liability low. Only then will you be able to become Amir. Investing in assets such as bonds, stocks, real estate, etc., which will give you money by earning it. Such a business in which your presence is not necessary, but she is working, is giving to you after earning. Once you have invested the money, you have trained the people. 3. Concentrate on your work, mind your own business. The rich focus on their plastic column, while everyone else focuses on their income statement. We should concentrate on our own work. If you are working, so learn all those real things which can help you start your own business and grow. The owners of McDonald's used to do real estate business along with burger business. That's why he became so rich. Similarly, Robert also kept busy in creating assets along with doing the job, buying and selling real estate, due to which he could earn many times more from his job. The author says that along with your job, also learn those skills with which you can build your business. Get financial knowledge and start creating assets. The income from job is only so much that we can pay our bills. But only by creating assets and growing them can we truly become rich. 4. The history of taxes and the power of corporations. If you work for money, you hand over power to your employer. If money works for you, you keep the power and control it. In this lesson, the author explains the history of tax. Tax was started to close the gap between the rich and the poor. Tax should be imposed on the rich, and that money should be spent for the welfare of the poor. But later the tax was imposed on middle-class people also. But now the only tax that goes into the government account comes from the middle-class people only. Rich people avoid paying taxes through their intelligence and cleverness. Rich first earns, then spends. If anything is left, then tax is paid. But middle-class and upper-middle-class people earn first, then pay tax, and then spend whatever is left. 5. Rich people invent money. The rich invent money. It is often the courageous people, not the smart ones, who move ahead in the world. Successful and rich people like Bill Gates, Dhirubhai Ambani, Jeff Bezos all look at the opportunity first and use that to move ahead. What is the demand in the market? People should see what they want and fulfill that need by implementing your idea. Then this made him successful and rich. That is why courageous people invent money by applying their revolutionary ideas. 6. Work to learn. Don't work for money. Job security meant everything to poor dad. Learning meant everything to rich dad. Any idea works only when action is taken on it. Good knowledge should be taken on it. The author continued to do many types of work in his life, due to which he got knowledge in every field. And this also helped him in making a successful business. Therefore, do not work just for the salary and for the final meeting of the month. Rather work to teach something. Get knowledge of different fields and connect with experts in those fields. Keep them for your work, which will then help in progressing your work. Some main points: financial knowledge. Take economic recession, build wealth. Rich people buy luxuries later. Join the property they create first. Then there are the liability guidelines for the money they receive. Pay yourself first and invest that money so that your assets increase. Learn to handle money-related fears. Success in money matters depends on how well we can handle our fears. Many people miss many good opportunities because they are afraid of taking risks. Learn selling skills. Many talented people lag behind because they do not know the skill of selling their art. Many people make ordinary things extraordinary and famous with their marketing techniques. Your biggest asset is your brain. Enhance its ability with good skills and knowledge. Never say that I can't buy this when we say I can't do it. So the mind stops thinking about it. Ask yourself, how can I buy this? Only then will the mind discover new ways, will recognize the opportunity and take action on it. Have faith in yourself. Conclusion. Hope you liked this Rich Dad Poor Dad book summary. Please read this book for complete information. Many important things have been explained in very simple words, which is important to know whoever wants to become rich.